Thanks for tuning in to Frank's Working Hands. We're going to continue this remodel where we left off. After putting in the subfloor, I made sure it was all level before putting in the tub. The tub, I slid it in, made sure that it was lined up with all the studs, and made sure that it was level. Then I put in some stainless steel screws. You could put this P-trap and assembly together before you actually put the tub in, but I felt it was easier for me to just go down in the basement and put it in. This P-trap, I couldn't change it out. There's the drain. There's the up there is the overflow, and they're all connected to this extension, tailpipe extension, and to the P-trap. I wish I could have got a different P-trap. This one is kind of gaudy because of the water leak, but I ain't got it all tightened up. I'm gonna tighten it up once I get everything sealed up. So right here I'm sealing it with some silicone because plumber's putty would not work in this instance, but it actually is good to put some around the threads, right at the tip of the threads, because you want it to be able to seal right as soon as it go in. So you want to do the threads and the lip. Then I put up this drywall. I made sure I put more screws in than normal because there's going to be a lot of weight on here with these tiles. Put all the drywall in place. Here's how it looks so far. Corners all buttered up. The floor looks good. Looks like it's ready to go ahead and put some cement board on. So that's what I'm about to be doing. I would have filmed me doing this plumbing, but man, if I told y'all how many times I had to go to different stores to find pieces just to get it back aligned. Some of them are original, some of them are not. When mixing your thinset, you want to add water first and then the powder, but you want to add less powder than water. Then you want to mix it up. Then you want to add some more powder. Then you want to add some more water. Then after that, mix it. Keep mixing until you get the right consistency. You'll know when you got the right consistency, because it'll sit in place after you trowel it, as you see. Now it's ready for me to put it on the floor. You want to put a little bit of water on your subfloor, then add your boards. I didn't do it right here. I don't know why, but I didn't. And hopefully that doesn't rise up on me. But I did put a lot of water into this mix because I wanted it to not get absorbed by the board up under. Then I ended up taping everything off. I don't know how the heck I ended up with gray mud. Oh, this was some leftover gray mud. That's exactly what it was. I didn't show me putting the drywall together. I'm going to do a different video for that. This is more about the tiling and the shower and stuff, so that's where we at on this. Putting these tiles down was a breeze. All you do is make sure that you're troweling towards the shorter part of the tile so that the air can escape from up under it. Make sure that you're checking for coverage up under midway. Just take a couple tiles out here and there and lift them up, make sure. that you got enough mix up under them. I should have used me a leveling system if I was gonna do half off, half on, but I didn't. Not on this part anyway. Last but not least, the last towel. Oh my goodness, this took me forever just to lay this because it was drying out so freaking bad, and I didn't want to go and buy, like, mix up another batch just for this little towel. So I made it work. As you see, it don't look pretty, but guess what? It sits pretty and it looks very nice. This is the finished result. Hopefully you guys like what it looked like. This without grout though, guys. I don't want to hear no man, that looked terrible. It's gonna look great. This is mold resistant drywall, so I still gotta go ahead and waterproof it so that it will not have any moisture that goes into it. Because it will mold, it just got a little, if it get a little wet, it will not mold. Put like 3 coats of this on here to make it more durable. I use paint roller, then I ended up using a trowel. It was easier troweling it on. Right here we got the cut of a lifetime. Needed to sand it out, but that's about it. Even with it not being sanded, it was a perfect fit to this tub. I was just showing y'all how the pattern is that I'm going to put on the wall. So it's basically the same as the floor. It's going to be a brick style pattern, and this little gap at the bottom is for the water return back into the tub. If any was to seep back there, it'll return, but I'm still going to caulk around the edge of that. I went with a vertical troweling method because I wanted the air to escape. Oh, it's so many variations on this wall. I probably shouldn't have put the metal strip in. My wife kept checking up on me. I'm glad she did because I was messing up. No, I wasn't messing up. But I definitely was trying to get this done quickly. I ended up going 4 tiles up, then I finished the back wall. I definitely would consider you to do the back wall all the way up to the top and then do the sides. That'll leave for a better reveal once you gotta caulk those corners. I didn't show any caulking. That's exactly what I didn't show. But yeah, you caulk the corners in the tub area. I made sure I left a little space at the bottom and at the top for expansion. That's even on the floor. You gotta leave expansion joints or you will have tiles popping up eventually. So I left enough space for them to be able to do what they want to do. Then it was on to this side. There was a lot of cutting on this side, man. Yes, you see I had to do a little break take to go ahead and get some of these in. But for the most part, they was just going in perfectly. Man. This pattern is a double pattern that you could do. So I did this pattern on this side. I liked it because it was lighter. And if you do it the opposite way, it get dark. Now this right here is where I messed up. So I showed my bloopers. I know everybody, y'all like, hey man, I showed my bloopers. I messed up right there. Just the mix was way too dry. I put it on anyway, and it definitely was harder to take off than what it is on this floor. This floor, definitely had a little challenge, but not too much of a challenge getting the black mist off. If you have a problem with your thinset being too dry, your grout being too dry, don't panic. Definitely keep you some not SOS pads, but some Scotch Brights. Keep you some Scotch Brights. That's what helped me get that off quicker. Because man, it was stuck. When I mean it was stuck like I left it on for days, and it was only like 5 minutes, and I tried to get it off. But now I'm using this leveling system on this side, and I said, wow. I never used the leveling system, and this is like, wow. It's a big difference. Using a leveling system, big difference. Only thing I hated about this leveling system was that they have a little curve in the little white part, and that curve actually, like with these tiles being so little, they was pushing back at me so bad. So then I ended up putting these wedges in. The wedges you keep, the other part you discard. Make sure I space everything out. Get into the painting part. Painting was very easy, as you can see. Definitely end up framing everything out first, and then I throw a little coat on. I threw probably 2 coats of paint on before. Then it was onto this toilet. Put the wax ring down. Make sure it's centered. Then put the toilet right over. These little sticks at the bottom is because I got a little rock to this toilet. It's not because of the towels. I actually got film of me testing it just on a regular floor. It got a little rock to it. They didn't sand it down in the up under in the back part. So now I gotta go ahead and use these 2 sticks. Then after that I tighten it down. Then I put this on, which is the bowl. It got a sealer in between that you compress just a little bit. You don't gotta compress it too much. And give you a couple bolts to put on. Then you gotta make sure everything is level. Make sure that your toilet is level and your top bowl is level. And you want them to be level at the same level. So you're gonna see me check that in a few. Then I added the water supply. This hose is a little too long, so I had to loop it. I should have checked the distance, but I didn't. I grabbed the hose that was a little longer, so it's a 12-inch hose. I only needed probably like a 6. Then I put the top on, sawed the bolts down, and put the top on. And that was it. Now it's on to converting this sink into a double sink. So I had to take these fittings off because these are not gonna work. I mean, they could have worked, I just hated I had to keep on turning the water on and off because there's no valves on these. So I ended up putting valves. Then I put double fittings, compression fittings on. Teflon tape is a must. Definitely use Teflon tape on these because these are not compression fittings or some type of thread sealer. Then I got the extra air out the lines and extra rust or dirt out the lines because you definitely don't want that to go into your new sinks and clog them up. Then after that I put on these double compression fitting 3/8. So that's the way that I converted it into a double instead of a single. Is this 100% the best way to do it? No, the best way to do it is to bust the wall open and get them their own separates, but I gave them their own separates outside of the wall, and it's okay. Then it was on to attaching the bowls to the top sink. Used a little bit of silicone. Didn't have to spread it or nothing, you just flip it over, it'll spread itself out. Then I tightened them down and let that sit for about an hour before I ended up coming back and moving them. I ended up putting silicone around the top edge of the vanity and then put the top on to it. You don't want to put it on the top, you don't need to, so you just put it around the edge of the whole thing. Then I skewed it in place and made sure that it was the right distance from the wall, because as you can see there's not that much clearance in the back of these, and you see all this hardware that's going in, plus the faucet is going to make another little spot, so you only get a little bit of edge. So time to make everything shine. Here we go, we're putting in these faucets. It was very easy. They give you washers, they give you all the stuff to make the supplies and the supply lines work. The only thing is that one of them was too short to go to the other line, so I ended up adding this extension to the line. This right here is my favorite feature of the whole sink, is this drain. This drain is a pop-up just like the one in the tub, and that is so amazing to me. So that little red thing is it's basically a seal. You got to make sure that you put that back in. And this has everything looks up under. So I cut the vanity to put this pipe through to both ends. Then I did the supply line. As you see, that's an extension on that side, and it's an extension on the other side. So the cold on one side, hot on the other side. So then you gotta go ahead and swivel it through both ends, and there you go. You have cold water and hot water coming through. So you can see that now both of them work. A little bit of rust coming out. It ain't that much though. Now it's on to these lights to get these ugly green lights out of here. Man, I don't know what they was thinking, having a pink, green, and gray and blue floor. Like gray and blue floor, pink tiles with green. Yeah, this is a mismatch situation. So now I'm about to make it all blend together. As you can see, these new lights, my wife picked these out. Most of the features she picked out brought the whole thing together. After connecting a couple wires, which is the neutral, the black, and the brown wire, I was done putting this basically together. I wish it hung with a string versus that. Then I ended up putting in the new light switches and the new towel holders and stuff like that. Last like little thing, the little towel holder. Here's the results. Thanks for watching Frank's Working Hands. Please subscribe.